Alright, everybody, this is Eternal Blade here, and welcome back to Section 3. Today we will be working on the little spice pots over here. So spice pots here, spice pot there, spice pot over there. So we're going to quickly just kind of run this together. So what we're going to want to do first is create, in the spline section, we're going to want to create a spline. Let's just go into our front viewport here, and we're just going to sort of model it on the shelf, so to speak. I've got my reference image zoomed way in over here, just so I can kind of see a comparison. You could build a reference image, but I'm just going to kind of sort of freeform it and see where we can get. Okay, so it's kind of got a little area there, a little area sort of top, comes around, comes up a little bit, go top, and bam. That's it. Right click to exit. Okay, now, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is the big one, and 4 is the top. Okay. So let's convert this into an editable spline. Okay, let's go to our vertex subobject mode here. And the first thing we want to do actually is build a box just as a reference, just so we can see the center of where we need to go. Let's just sort of adjust these into position so we can eventually use the lathe modifier on this. So we give it a fat base here. And then we'll leave this as a Bezier corner. Okay, this allows us to have kind of sort of sweeping curves, if you will. Okay, Bezier corner, and plug it there. Make this a Bezier. Bring it out and line it up with the other one we just did. Okay, bring this one in a bit. And then we can have this as a Bezier, just a Bezier. There we go, sort of make this kind of a big, slightly more bulbous. Still kind of level though. Alright, make this a Bezier. Come on, click Bezier, there we go. Alright, and sort of adjust it. And then this should be up here. Sort of over here. So you can bring this in. So we have the 1, 2, a slightly bigger one here. And then we need a little one for the top, kind of, that starts right about here. Sort of goes in. Actually, we can probably delete that point right there. Don't think we need it. Okay, so I bring this one in. Alright, bring this down. Just trying to line it up. And we can bring these down a bit. This is just trying to make the top, and I think actually kind of looks like this. So it comes in something almost exactly like that, maybe a little more pointed. Okay, there we go. That looks pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. Right, next what we're going to use is the lathe modifier. We're here to lathe, and then click on the axis. We're just going to sort of drag it over until we get what we want. Right about there. Okay. Hit weld core. Now press F3 and zoom into what exactly you just did. You can see, if we turn this off shaded, that's sort of what we got. And you can see what needs to be fixed and what doesn't. So I'm going to say, if we're actually going to do this, front view. We're going to decrease the size of some of these, so sort of bring this in a little bit. Just decreasing the size a bit. I think they're a bit too big. And again, you know, reference image is probably the best way to go with this, but every once in a while it's just fun to do a little more free-form work. Okay, and sort of, I don't know if we need that one, probably delete that point. I think we're fine with just this one. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Oops. So Z3 perspective. There we go. That looks like a pretty perfect spice pot if I've ever seen one. Last little thing I want to do here though is just in this bottom vertex, we're just going to bring it up just a hair. Well, I guess we can't really do that. Think about this. Isolate selection. Edit spline. We can take off that for just a second. And we want to, what do we want to do? We want to go into the vertex here, go to refine, connect, refine, let's just add a point right in there. Okay, now what we can do is just sort of bring that point down just to give it a flat base. There we go, now you can see our pot has a flat base there. So, end isolation. And we're going to apply the same plate material to this pot. So go find your plate material from the... No, we didn't have plate material. We'll make one later, I guess. For now, make it white. Bam. Oops, not the walls. Well, I guess the walls don't really matter so much. But make the pot white. Okay, there we go. And go into your camera view here. And then sort of go in the top view and just strategically place about 1 million of these. Yes, probably about 1 million if I had to guess. So it looks like this little piece right here is actually a bit longer. So we're going to sort of, I guess it can't be too much longer. I think the problem is, let's see here. Something is wrong in our scale. Either our pot is way too big, which could be the case, or is the case. I think we press R and maybe we shrink it down just a bit. There we go. Sort of position it on the shelf. This thing should still be a bit upward like that. That's where it should be. Okay, cool. There we go. So now let's just copy these around for a little bit. Doesn't really matter where they're going. Make sure they're all instances though, because when you change one, you want them all to change for sure. I can guarantee you that you want them all to change. Okay. And that looks pretty good. So just so I remember, we're gonna have one sort of over here. Okay. And it won't be floating in the middle of the air. It'll be, you know, sort of strategically positioned somewhere over here on a little shelf thing, which I didn't make for some reason, at least not yet. And then we're gonna have one. Oops, not the fireplace, just a little shelf. One over sort of on here. Okay, bring it up. And this will be a bit bigger than that. Must be a bigger spice pot. Sort of this sized. There we go. And place it right there. This is gonna kind of go right up to the edge. All right, perfect. There we go. And let's let me see. We have a few more sort of down here. So we're gonna shift drag it down to the next level. And it looks like we have a couple different sized ones sort of over here. So we're gonna just scale it down a bit. Shift drag it to the right. Maybe scale this one up just a tad. Okay. And I think we're gonna have one more little baby one. So instance R, make a little baby one. Okay. And then go to perspective mode and just kind of figure out where in the world we are. There we go. And sort of cluster them together like so. And maybe push them a little bit back. There's going to be a sort of a jug thing in front of them, so they're going to be good. Alright, let's give this a quick render. Alright, here we go, and you can see the final results, except for our little floating thing over there, which will have a home eventually. Everything looks about the right size, and you can just see a comparison of what we just did versus the reference image. So here's what we did, and here's the reference image, so they're pretty damn close. Again, you can use the reference image if you want, just to make it a little bit more accurate, but for now, I think that'll be perfect. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next part.